good. So here you have the neuroglia, and there is two types. Okay, one is for the central nervous system, and the other one is for the peripheral nervous system. So you have 4 of them for the central, 2 of them for peripheral nervous system. The first one is called astrocytes. Okay, so it has a lot of branches. You see these astrocytes, there's so many branches, and they go and wrap around the blood vessels. Here. They are also connected to the neurons, so it has other functions as well. But the main function here is creating a wall or a barrier between the blood vessels and the interstitium. This is interstitium or extracellular fluid of the nervous system here, okay? So it is separating the content of the blood from the extracellular environment. So they are very different from each other. And that wall is called blood-brain barrier, okay? So it's like a wall, it's not a real wall. It is also important for repairing damaged tissue. So if the nervous system is damaged for any reason, it repairs it. Unfortunately, the nervous system is not dividing. That's the problem with the nervous system. It does not have centriole. It doesn't divide. There's a couple of exceptions there. One is in the nose, and the other one is in the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory. But other than that, the nervous system or the neurons, they do not divide. So if they are damaged, then the astrocytes come and replace them, and that's why if somebody has a stroke or any other damage like a trauma or something, then their damage is permanent. If it is not for a long period of time, it's usually permanent. That's because astrocytes are preventing the axons to grow. So the axons cannot connect with each other, and the neurons will not divide. So that's why the symptoms and the signs are permanent if somebody has a stroke or a trauma or something. Sometimes if there's not total damage, the neurons, the axons actually grow. They grow very slowly. But if it is severe damage, nothing can happen. Astrocytes are also important during the embryonic development of the central nervous system, and also for the 3D framework of the nervous system. So it has a lot of different functions. Oligodendrocytes, it means they have a few branches, okay, and they are wrapping around the axons, so look like hot dogs. And once they are wrapped around the axons, they create a myelin sheet. Okay, so this myelination is actually a good thing because that increases the speed of the movement of electrical activity. So the myelinated axons are transmitting information a lot faster. The third one is called microglial cells because they are so small, but they have a lot of branches here. They work like phagocytes. So if there is any kind of particles, any kind of tissue damage or any kind of infections, they go to the area and they clean up the area. So they look or function the same as phagocytes. And the fourth one is that ependymal cells, and these are some of them are flat, some of them are cuboidal shape, and they are located in the cavities inside the central nervous system. If the cavities are in the brain, they are called ventricles, and if the cavity is in the spinal cord, that's called central canal. So they cover those cavities, okay? and some of them also have the cilia, and they produce a fluid that's called CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. And I will talk about that fluid when we get to chapter 14. So for now, just understand that it produces some kind of fluid. So now is the neuroglia for the peripheral nervous system. There's two of them. One is called satellite cells. They are also called amphicytes, and these are the cells. Okay, so you have these neurons. The cell bodies of the neurons are here, and these are the axons, and they are covered by these satellite cells. So it's protecting the environment of the cell bodies. So the extracellular fluid around the neurons are different than the extracellular fluid that is outside of the satellite cells. So this gives it a different chemical components. Then is the Schwann cells. So Schwann cells are similar to oligodendrocytes. They are also called neurolemma cells because they wrap around the axons and they create these, these cover around the axons. So they are creating myelin sheath. And the myelin sheath is also called neurolemma. So this is why it's called neurolemma cells. So once you have this, the speed of the conduction increase. If you look at it here in these two images, so this is an axon, and also these blue ones that you see, these are also axons. This is a thicker axon, and it is wrapped around by a Schwann cell. Okay, if it is wrapped by one Schwann cell in one specific area, that is called what? That's called myelinated neuron. But as you can see, one Schwann cell cannot cover the whole axon. So you see many Schwann cells are covering one axon. Okay. If you compare this one with this one, this is different. So these are all axons, but they are very small. So multiple axons are covered by one Schwann cell here. This is still covered by a Schwann cell, but the coverage is not that good. This is why it's called unmyelinated. So they give some protection, but is not affecting the speed of the electrical conduction that much. So this is why it is unmyelinated. Okay, so the speed is very slow in this type of neuron compared with this type of neurons. And also Schwann cells participate in the nerve damage. The nerve damage is called Wallerian degeneration. It's a separate discussion, but they can help the axons to regrow slowly. So it covers the area and let the axons regrow and connect back if the damage is not too severe.